Good morning, everyone. This is Judge Nicola. Apologize for the delay. I was having a little bit of trouble logging in this morning, but looks like hopefully it's working. And let me see, I'm trying to get everyone in. Still more people waiting. Okay.
Boo. Boo. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. All right, I don't seem to be able to hear you.
Can you hear me, Your Honor?
Oh, there we go, good. Okay. Oh, wait, I have one more person coming in. Oops. All right, is Mr. Chandler in the room? I don't see him. Mr. Chandler, are you there? James Chandler? Nope. Anyone here for Mr. Chandler? All right, I was going to call him first because he has the oldest case, but he is not in the room. All right, the person with the next oldest cases would be Mr. Bazaz. Bazaz, are you there?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, good morning, Your
I
Honor.
can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I don't know why.
Could be me.
I don't know. I wonder if I should just unplug my speakers. All right, let me just have somebody else other than you, Mr. Bazaz. Mr. Fayette, let's see if I can hear you.
That's fine.
I'm here, Judge. I could hear
Yeah,
Mr.
it's my
Bazaz
case.
fine. I try not to, but I heard him just
I can't
fine.
hear you either. All right, let's try this again. All right. Yep. It's my speakers. I'm trying to figure out a way to increase the volume and my speakers aren't working. So, all right, Mr. Bazaz, you have the two oldest cases other than Mr. Chandler on my docket. The first one is Mr. Keniston. What are we doing for Mr. Keniston, which is case number 19 and M69?
Judge, this is a plea in absentia, so if you want to set this for a date that I can come in and give that to the court.
Okay. So let's see. I had a criminal plea docket on Tuesday, February the 16th at 1:30. Would you like to set it there?
I'm sorry, Judge. Do you have something after that?
Not that I see presently. I have not scheduled my March plea dates yet. So what I would say to you, Mr. Bazaz, is get a hold of Jen and we'll figure out another plea date in March. I'm going to schedule this, at least we'll set it for another pretrial so that we have it scheduled, which would be on April the 22nd. I'm sorry, April the 21st at 9 a.m. And then in the meantime, we'll get you scheduled for a plea for Mr. Keniston. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
What about Courtney Brodowski, which is 19 MM 2170?
Judge, can we set that for some mandatory court date that she would have to appear?
Yes, we can. And actually, she has two, with 19 MM 2170 and 19 MM 2179. Just for everyone, so everyone understands, I am the backup judge for the trial week beginning February the 22nd. That's Joe Foster's trial week. And then I am primary March the 1st. Based on the COVID numbers that we have right now, it looks likely that I will have trials the week of March the 1st. And if Judge Foster doesn't have anything go February 22nd, that I will also have trials that week. My plan is to load up these jury trial weeks so that we can get some cases resolved either by having them go to trial or otherwise. So I have a calendar call, which will be
Your Honor.
February the 19th at 9 a.m. Ms. Brodowski's case is the third oldest case on my docket, so I am going to require her appearance on February the 19th at 9 a.m. Her case, if it's not resolved, Mr. Bazaz will likely be one of the cases that does go to trial, either
Your
the
Honor.
week of February 22nd or March the 1st. Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. The state does have a witness conflict on Ms. Brodowski's first case, 19 MM 2170. As to the second case, there's also a witness conflict for the first week.
Okay.
But we are ready to proceed to trial on the second week on 19 MM 2179.
All right, so we're going to set 19 MM 2179 for status on February 19th. She will be required to be present for both cases. That case is going to be set for trial the week of March the 2nd. I do expect that those 2 Mondays, I will also be setting a calendar call just to see which cases are going to go to trial. So that case is going to be tentatively slotted the week of March 2nd.
Okay, very good.
All right, Mr. Pizzazz. And then what are we going to do with the other one, which is
Lennon?
Ms. Brodowski's other case that the state has a conflict. It was 2170 or 2179 that you had the conflict. Mr. Rabb, I'm sorry.
Your Honor, we have a conflict for both weeks for 19 MM 2170, which is the older case, unfortunately.
Okay, so that case, I'm still going to set it for February the 19th with her required to be in person because I want to hear from her whether it looks like it's going to be a trial, because if it is, then I'm going to definitely slot her on an April trial date. But at least we can hopefully figure out what we're going to do with the first case. All right, so that's what we're going to do with those, Mr. Pizzazz.
Can I call my third case?
Yes.
Okay, it's Lennon 20 CT 2338.
Mr. Lennon is actually present in the
And if I could request a continuance of the
20 CT 2338. All right, let me see how old this is. This is not an old case. So any objections to the request for continuance, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and so Mr. Lennon, so you understand my next continuance date for these pre-trials will be April the 21st at 9 a.m., but you would not need to appear for that. We're doing everything remotely presently. Okay. All right. And you're more than welcome if you talk with your attorney to either watch my proceedings remotely, because if you go to the the judge's website, if you just Google my name, you'll see my name. You click on it, it'll say view my remote hearings, and you can watch the whole proceeding remotely, or you can always ask your attorney for the Zoom code, and you're more than welcome to watch over Zoom if you want to, if that's easier for you. But we are requiring that people not come into the courtroom for these pre-trials right now. I let you in because you were here, of course. But we're definitely telling people that they can't come in, at least for now. Okay? Okay. You have any other questions, or you good? Okay, perfect. All right, and that's it for you, Mr. Pizzazz?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Yes, that's it. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. J.
Can you call me? Can you call me after?
I don't see him. All right, because he's got the next oldest case. The person who has the next oldest case is Mr. Vitale. Mr. Vitale, you there?
I am here, Your Honor. Good morning.
The Miss Kirk, she's definitely getting up there as far as age of a case. 20 CT or 19 CT 1536. What are we doing for Miss Kirk?
Judge, I'd like to set it for a plea on the 18th.
Okay, we can do that. February 18th at 1:30 for a plea.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sounds good. Do you have other cases? Let me just look at my docket.
That is all, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Vitale. We'll see you on the 18th at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next oldest case, Mr. Bergeramo. And I don't see him in the room yet either. Mr. Lucarelli, you in the room? Nope. All right. Mr. Fayette, you've got two cases that look like they're pretty old. Roger Wiegand, who is 19 MM 1518.
We're ready for that.
Ready for that one? Mr. Rabb, is the state ready?
Your Honor, we have a witness conflict for the first week. We are ready for the week of March 1st.
All right, so we'll set you for that. Let's see, we'll set you for that 19th date at 9 a.m. To check the status of it, and we'll set it for trial March the 2nd. It'll go that week.
Okay.
All right. How about Mr. Wright, Mr. Fayette, David Wright, 19 CT 1846.
We're ready on that.
Mr. Rabb, state ready?
It's ready, Your Honor.
Any preference as to whether it would be slotted the February 22nd week or the March 1st week?
No, Your Honor, we can go ahead and put that on the first week.
All right, set it for February 19th, and it'll be set for trial the week of February the 23rd. All right, okay. Mr. Fayette, do you have other cases?
I do, Judge. I have a Mario Garcia Cisneros, 19 CT 1906.
Okay. And what are we doing for Mr. Garcia Cisneros?
We're ready on that one, Judge. That one's going to be quick. State's not going to get past the JOA on that one, but I'll explain that to him later.
Okay.
Your Honor, if we could put that for, let's put that on the week of February 22nd. We do have a witness conflict for the first week of March.
I was going to say, if the state's not going to get past the JOA, you might just drop it right now, right?
I'm going
Well,
to.
Mr. Fayette has to make his argument to me, Your Honor.
So he hasn't convinced you yet, Mr. Reb?
Not
Well,
yet.
we might have to wait till the day of so he doesn't fix anything here, but we'll see. Maybe he'll figure it out.
Oh, well, now you've given him a hint. Perhaps he'll fix it. All right, so we're going to set that for the second week. Is that correct?
For the first week, Your Honor.
First week, I'm sorry. All right, February the 19th, 9 a.m. And then for the 23rd for that week. All right? All right, Mr. Fayette, you have more, it looks like.
David Tamiano, 19 CT 2875 TOMAINO.
Yes.
We're ready on that.
Ready on that one? Let's say the state.
It's ready, Your Honor. Either week, whatever the court has a preference for.
Let's set it for the February 19th date at 9 a.m. for status, and then we'll set it on the first week, February the 23rd.
And then last one, Judge, Mario Garcia Castro.
Yes.
This one's really new. It was in 2020.
It's only 127 days old. What are we doing with that case, Mr. Fayette?
I'm asking to continue one more time, Judge. I've had trouble getting the video. Once I get that, I'll be ready.
Mr. Rab, any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, that will go to the pretrial April the 21st at 9 a.m.
Thanks for your time.
Say it. All right. We still don't have Mr. Verderamo, right? I'm not seeing him. All right. How about Mr. Veliz? Mr. Veliz, it looks like you've got a case that's fairly old, and that would be Marcos Morejon, 19 MM 1996.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. It is getting old. It is set for trial. If the court remembers, there's a related felony case. That matter is set for trial on the 22nd of March. I was hoping to let the case resolve first. I was hoping to get a final continuance. I think a final continuance would take care of this matter.
So the felony case is set in March, is that right?
March 22nd, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Rab, any objection?
Your Honor, the state has witness availability conflicts for both weeks, so no objection to continuance.
All right, so it'll be set for a final continuance on that April the, watch my calendar. April the 21st at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, and let's see here. Mr. Caro, is she in the room? Or anybody on behalf of
Your Honor.
There she is. Mr. Caro, you have Michael John Frazier, case number 19 CT 2142. That one is pretty old. What are we doing for Mr. Frazier?
Yeah. He is going to be in a plea in absentia. Last time I spoke with him a couple months ago, he was in the hospital. He had a heart attack. I haven't spoke with him since to see if he's fully recovered yet, but we are intending that to be a plea in absentia.
Okay. Do you want to try to set that for my plea date that I have next week, or are you looking farther out?
I request further out because it's only 9 days to get that back.
Okay. Date is going to be April 10th, 9 a.m., which is my pre-trial. But we can schedule a plea before then. I just don't have a March plea. I don't have a March plea date yet.
Okay.
So we'll set it for April 21st at 9, and then once I open up a plea date, I'll talk to Jen after these conferences and see if we can come up with another date, and then you guys just get a hold of her, and we'll slot you in there sometime in March, okay?
Okay.
All right, and Mr. Caro, you have other cases also. You want to go through those?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Let's start with Mary Kennedy, 20 MM 414. What's happening with her?
Ms. Kennedy, I just got the offer. If I can request a continuance to review that with her.
Do you have any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 19th at 9. I'm sorry, April 21st at 9. All right, and then how about Antonio Miranda Fonte, 20 1044.
I asked for a continuance with the waiver. There is a significant jail offer, and I don't think that's been conveyed to him yet.
Mr. Rob, any objection to the
No
continuance?
objection. No, ma'am, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9. All right. Marcos Gaspar Gonzalez, 20 CT 2526. Mr. Carroll?
Your asked for a continuance of the waiver. This is going to be a plea in absentia.
Any objection, Mr. Rob?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9. All right, let's go back here. Giovanni Ortiz, 19 CT 2999. What's the status with that one?
That's also going to be a plea in absentia. If I have a continuance for April.
Any objection, Mr. Rob?
No objection.
April 21st at 9. How about Douglas Ward, 20 79.
I'm asking for a continuance of the waiver. We're still in negotiations with the state.
Mr. Rob, any objection?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. April 21st at 9. All right, how about John Schultz, 20 CT 1729?
Asking for a continuance with the waiver. We just received some discovery yesterday from the state.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, April 21st at 9. And then it looks like you have one more, William Pierce, 19 CT 2496.
I do believe it's going to be a plea in absentia. He is a doctor in residency.
Let me call you back. I'm in court right now.
You need to mute your microphone.
I got you. I'm going to call you right back.
Case has not been called yet, needs to mute your microphone. Otherwise, it causes a lot of difficulty for the court to hear other people, okay? Thank you. All right, what are we doing for Mr. Pierce?
I'm asking for a continuance of the waiver. He's likely going to be a plea in absentia. He's a doctor in his residency in California, and he was waiting to get his medical license, but I think he should have that now.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
Final continuance, April 21st at 9. Okay, and I think that's all your cases. Is that right, Mr. Caro?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, are you doing okay over there? Am I going too fast for you? I just want to make, you know what? I do a spreadsheet with all the cases and everything. I should give that to you. I have them alphabetically. I will do that. I'll do that for you tomorrow because I can actually take the spreadsheet all the way out so you can write notes. So you have 2 pages instead of having 85 pages. I know you're doing that. So I promise I'll give it to you tomorrow. All right. Okay. Well, let's see. Anybody over Zoom who has 1 or 2 cases wants to have their case called? I've got a pretty big docket. Mr. Alonso?
Mr. Alonso.
I've got 1.
I have 1, Judge.
Your Honor, Chris Brown, I have 2 cases.
Mike Rahab, I have 1.
Diane Gonzalez, I have 1 also.
Okay, I will call you guys next. I call Mr. Alonso first. Mr. Alonso, are you appearing for another attorney? Because I don't see your name on my docket.
I work in the office of Albert Quirantes, but I am handling this case. It's Maribel Tapanes.
Maribel Tapanes. 479. What are we doing for Ms. Tapanes?
Judge, we were hoping to do a plea in absentia today, but Mr. Rabb advised me that the forms that I filed for the plea in absentia were not good enough. So he's sending me the ones that you accept there. Now, my only question that I have is that last week I mailed the actual fingerprint card, and I don't know if it made it. I mailed it to the clerk, return receipt requested. And I want to make sure that that's there so that I only have to take care of the other stuff?
Let's see. I do see the fingerprint form, and it looks like it's got fingerprints on it. It was filed February the 5th.
Right.
I see an affidavit in support of a plea in absentia that was filed February 5th.
Right.
And yeah, this is the right.
I understand, Judge. I'll fix it. As long as I know that I have the fingerprints there, that's not a problem. Now, Mr. Rabb, you're emailing me the proper form, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm gonna wait today because I have my client outside. She'll execute it and we'll get it back to you. When is the next plea date at 1:30?
Next plea date is the 16th at 1:30. If you want to do it then, I could take it then.
That works for me. As long as I get the documents this morning, I can have her executed and we're good to go.
All right, so we're gonna set this for a plea February the 16th at 1:30, and then just get all the information over to us and we'll take care of it then, all right?
Thank you, Mr. Rob. Please send me those forms, okay?
Will do.
Thank you. Mr. Turner, did you indicate that you had one case, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have Sadaniel Davis, 20 CT 1470?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
I
sir.
would ask for a continuance. I emailed Mr. Rob this morning. I'm sure he hasn't had time to look at it.
I have not, no objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9, Mr. Turner.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Gonzalez, you said you had one case.
That's correct. Diane Gonzalez on behalf of Jade Wallstringer. I'd ask for a status on this, Your Honor. It's a diversion dropout. She's getting documentation. There was one class missing, and I'm hoping I can work something out with the state. It's either going to be a plea or a null prop.
My next pretrial is April the 21st at 9. I can set you there, and then if you have a plea date, I'll have a plea date between now and then. I just don't have one other than next week on Tuesday at 1:30. But I'm going to come up with another one if you wanted to set it for pretrial, and then we'll figure it out, because I don't want to set it where I'm slotting cases that are going to actually go to trial, which is February the 19th. So let's move it to
Yes, Your
April
Honor.
1st at 9.
That's fine.
Okay, that's where we'll go. All right, thanks, Ms. Gonzalez.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else that has one or two cases?
Judge, I have I have 1.5.
1.5. Who's that?
Chief Wetter,
Okay, Mr. Wetter. Let me just pull your case.
I thought that would get your attention with the half. It's a diversion
Yeah,
acceptance. It's a diversion on Tyler Murray.
Mr. Murray, yes. It says Andrew Murray, 21.5.
I'm sorry, Andrew Murray. Andrew Murray. Judge Andrew Murray has been offered an accepted diversion. So if we can get a control date.
April 21st at 9.
All right, and then I also have Stella Martinez. She's the full case. Andrew Murray was the half case.
Okay, 20
Yeah.
CT 1573. What are we doing for Miss Martinez?
Judge, if I can squeak out one more continuance, I need to talk to the prosecuting attorney about an offer.
Mr. Rabb, any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. All right, next, let's go to Miss Stevens.
Morning, Your Honor. Samantha Stevens on behalf of Mr. Mungan, who's also present.
Yes, Ms. Stevens, what are we doing for Mr. Mungan?
If we can have a continuance to another pretrial, that would be great.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
I have no objection. Ms. Stevens and I have been in contact regarding a potential resolution.
All right, Mr. Mungan, your case is being set for pretrial April the 21st at 9 a.m., sir.
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You had their hand raised. Mr. Russo, you said you had one case, sir?
Yes, I have one case. It is Andy Jacinto Guerra, case number 20 CT 1151.
Yes. What are we doing for Mr. Jacinto Guerra?
The defense is ready for trial.
Mr. Rodriguez,
State's ready, Your Honor.
I don't know. You guys prefer this case to go the week of February 22nd or the week of March 1st?
The state would prefer that it be put on the first week, just based on the age, if Mr. Russo doesn't have an objection to that.
The defense is available every day.
Okay, so we'll set it for the status on February the 19th at 9 a.m. Set for trial February the 23rd at 9 a.m. All right?
And Your Honor, what is your What is your policy as far as the defendant being present on February 19th at the status?
I'm not, other than the lady earlier this morning, I'm not requiring them to be present because I believe that the attorneys can convey to their clients what their trial date will be.
Okay.
I hope I'm not wrong about that. If I am wrong about that, I will then start making them appear. But thus far, since I've started as a judge, I haven't had a difficulty with defendants appearing for their trials. But if that changes, then I will start making them appear for the status. So as of right now, I think that I think the attorneys have been able to convey it to them. And that's also right now to avoid having lots and lots of people show up for a calendar call at the courthouse, which would be something that we don't do right now. So yeah, I'm not going to make them show up on February the 19th, but if we set their case for trial the following week on like the 23rd and it's the first case up, then they will need to appear.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Russo.
Have a good day.
You too. Okay. And next would be Ms. Maurer. I saw you with your hand up. What's that, Ms. Maurer?
Yes, Your Honor. I have one on the docket this morning. It's Salvador Perez.
All right. 20 CT 650. What are we doing for Mr. Perez?
If I could have a continuance with a waiver, I just sent Mr. Robb some documents regarding his immigration case that he was going to take into consideration with an offer. So by the next time, we should be ready.
Mr. Robb, any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. O'Halloran, you ready?
Yes, Your Honor. I have John McCabe.
20 CT 2484. What are we doing for Mr. McCabe?
Judge, I would like to proceed eventually by plea in absentia. If I could have your 421 pretrial, I'll move it up on your docket for a plea.
Okay, wonderful. Mr. Robb, any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you. You too, sir. Anybody else that just has one or two cases?
Attorney Lopez, I have one case.
Okay. Let's start with Mr. Raheb.
I see it rhymes with Rob, so I should be called first. Yes, Judge. First time up, April 21st, we waive.
All right, and the defendant is Danielle Hemmick.
Danielle Hemmick, I apologize, Your Honor. 20 CT 2342.
20 CT 2342. Any objection, Mr. Robb, to it going to the April 21st date?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thanks for
All
calling.
right, Mr. Lopez, did you say you have one case, sir?
Yeah.
I have two, Judge.
All right.
Yes, I have the case of Chester, 20 CT 371.
Okay, Andrew Chedister, 20 CT 371. What are we doing for Mr. Chedister?
I worked things out with the state. We need to set it for a plea date.
Do you want the 16th, which is next week at 1:30?
Just a second, let me check my availability. That will be Tuesday next week.
Yes, sir.
I'm not available. I have an in-person hearing at that time.
Okay, I can set you for the April 21st pretrial at 9 a.m. and then just get in touch with my judicial assistant, Jen, and we'll come up with another plea date between now and then so that we can slot the ones that aren't available next week.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Lopez, I should probably have another plea date set up by sometime today. Okay?
Okay.
Just gotta look at my calendar and figure out where I can put it. All right, thank you. Mr. Brown, did you say that you had one or two cases, sir?
I have two, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have Brett Jameson, 2710 MM.
Mr. Jameson, Brett Jameson, 20 MM 710. Yes, what are we doing for Mr. Jameson?
Ready for trial, Your Honor.
Mr. Rad, you ready?
Your Honor, it looks like we can be ready on the second week. We do have witness availability issues on the 1st.
All right, so we will schedule this for that February the 19th date for status. Set it for trial March 2nd.
Very good. And I have Miguel Rio, 20-1396 MM.
All right, so that's Miguel Rio, 20 MM 1396. What are we doing for Mr. Rio?
I request a continuance with a waiver of speedy trial, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Rad?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thanks
All right,
very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Jimenez.
One, Judge. Morning, Your Honor. I have one case. Edgardo Santiago.
Let's find you. There you are. Edgardo Santiago, 20 CT 2195. And what are we doing for Mr. Santiago?
Your Honor, I'm requesting a continuance with the waiver. I need to speak with Mr. Rabb regarding a resolution.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Steve Gregosa, I have one case.
Thank you, Mr. Gregosa. Go ahead.
Caballero, 20 CT 1456. This case we had yesterday where the state's obtaining his medical records, so I'm requesting a continuance.
And this is Alexi Caballero, 20 CT 1456. Yes, we'll set this on the April 21st at 9. I do think this case needs some more time. We should have done it
All right,
yesterday.
thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gregosa. Mr. Viacava, did you indicate that you had one case or two cases, sir?
Yes, Judge. I only have one attorney, Lee Viacava, for the record. It's case number, I'll give it to you right now, 20 CT 2085. We'd respectfully request a continuance with a waiver to the April 21st date at 9 a.m.
And this is Trong, and the last name is spelled Ngo. I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
Yes, Judge.
No
Any
objection, Your Honor.
objection, Mr. Ed?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Okay, so that'll go April the 21st at 9. And then the other one, I'm assuming is like your brother. There's another Viacava on here.
I would believe so, yes.
Okay, so we'll wait till he gets on.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, other attorneys that only have one or two cases, Mr. Metzer?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Please excuse my appearance. I have to run out to the doctor this morning. I have one, Mahir Patel, 201945.
Mir Patel.
Mahir Patel, correct. I've been speaking with Mr. Rob. We have this case basically negotiated for a plea in absentia next week. I just have to amend one or two terms on the plea in absentia form. We'll be ready to go on the 16th if that's available.
That is available. We can set you for February the 16th at 1:30 for a plea.
No problem.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You said 1:30, ma'am?
1:30, sir.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, anybody else?
Judge, I just have one case, Attorney Calvo.
Hi, Mr. Calvo. Okay, let me just find you. And it's two cases, one defendant, Javier Palomino, 20 CT 822 and 20 CT 1744. What are we doing for Mr. Palomino?
I'm requesting a continuance to waiver, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
As it relates to the earlier case, just so I have a reason to document for the continuance, it is fairly old.
I'm still looking for an offer. I'd like to set up for a plea in absentia soon.
I can certainly send you an offer.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Let's set it for April 21st at 9, but that'll be a final continuance. Let's get this, especially the older one, resolved.
That's fine.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Anybody else that's over Zoom that
I've got one case. I've got one case. Mark Youngblood. Good morning, Your Honor. Tyrone Fuller.
Yes, let me just find you.
Request continuance, waive speedy trial.
And this is Tyrone Fuller, 1098. Any objection, Mr. Rabb, to Mr. Fuller?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good day.
Thank you. You too. Anybody else over there that has just one case?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have one case, two cases. Mr. Calmo, that's going to be 20 CT 222. We for the in-person.
I'm not finding that case. Hold on.
Maybe it's under Sal's. He has two last names.
The only one that I see with your name on it, sir, is Adam Fry, 20 CT 2075.
That's incorrect, ma'am. I apologize. I have two. I have Mr. Davidson. That's 20 CT 377.
Oh, okay. That's under a different attorney name. It says Camereco. Ricky Davidson?
That is me.
377?
Yeah, Michael Camereco is my name.
Ah, okay. I thought I had called on Mr. Shazani. That's
Oh,
why.
I apologize. I have myself.
Okay, so Ricky Eugene Davidson is case number 20 CT 377. What are we doing with that one?
We'd ask to go to the next trial call.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor. The state would request that it be put on status for the 19th with trial on the week of the 22nd.
I thought he asked for a continuance.
I did.
Oh, I thought you said to the trial call.
I think he meant to the next pretrial.
Just based on the age of the case, Your Honor, the state would object to a continuance, but would request a reason for it, Mr. Cannadecco.
Yeah,
That's we can go to trial call and then that's fine. We're ready.
You ready?
That's fine.
All right. For the first and second week of February the 22nd or week of March the 1st?
The 22nd is fine.
All right, so it'll be set for status on February the 19th at 9 a.m. Trial week, February 23rd, 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Perfect. The next one you have is Gilmer Calmo Salas, 20 CT 2222.
Your Honor, if we can get an in-person date on the 16th, if you have any availability still for a plea.
How many pleas did I set on the 16th? Oh my goodness. This is going to be the last one because I actually have an out of the office appointment at 3:30, so I can't wrap it up. So that'll be set for the 16th at 1:30.
Terrific. Thank you. And I apologize for any confusion.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. All right.
Judge.
Your Honor,
Mr. Hollander,
I
go
have
ahead.
one case.
Judge, I have one case as well, Adam Fry.
I heard him first. Mr. Hollander, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Judge. I got 4, but I got a federal matter in 20 minutes.
All right. Well, I can do all 4 of yours in about 3.5 minutes. So go ahead.
There we go.
Maybe
All right.
less.
One is Patricia Boyle, 20 CT 1924. I'm asking for a continuance, waive speedy trial.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Same one with Alexis Cuellar, 20 CT 2424.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Okay, there's a case, Hector Chagoya, 20 CT 1563. We filed a plan of absentia yesterday, obviously signed by Mr. Rabb, and in return, Mr. Rabb was going to ask to dismiss his motion for violation of pretrial release. Do you want to do that now or some other time?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know if you want to accept the plea in absentia now, but the state has reviewed the plea. It accepts the plea, and once accepted by the court, will withdraw its motion to revoke bond.
All right, Mr. Chagoya, 20 CT 1563. Just by the sheer size of this docket, I prefer to do it maybe this afternoon on a 2:15. Could we do that? Because that got way too many. I've got a bunch of people in the courtroom now too.
Do I log back in on this?
This afternoon, Mr. Hollander, that we could do it right after my 24s?
I can't be there, Judge. I'm in front of Judge Branning up here on a double homicide case.
Oh, I would say you don't have to be here. I could do it by Zoom. I'm just worried that I don't have time right now.
Okay, that'll be fine. I can do that by Zoom.
I'll give you the Zoom codes this afternoon. You just call in and do it this afternoon?
That's fine, Judge.
All right. Tell Judge Branning I'd appreciate it if you just gave me 5 minutes of it, even though it sounds like, that's a pretty important case going forward. All right.
Okay. The last case is Nicole Giroux.
Yes.
All right,
Judge.
Judge.
M776. What are we doing for Ms. Giroux?
Ms. Giroux, subsequent to this incident, got hit by a car. She was on a bicycle. She's in line for a rehab and then 3 or 4 surgeries on her leg. Mr. Rabb and I are trying to resolve this. So I'm asking for a continuance, waive speedy trial.
What's she charged with?
Charged with the paraphernalia count. State has no objection, Your Honor.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking at this one, and I would hope that this is something that could be resolved. It's not a diversion case.
It is not a diversion case, Your Honor. And just for the record, we also have a witness availability issue. Our law enforcement officer has subsequently taken a position with the FBI and is in training in Quantico through April. So.
Okay. So what we'll do, Mr. Hollander, is we'll set this for April 21st pretrial and continue it at 9 a.m. And then
that'll be great.
we can talk and figure out a way to resolve this one.
We will.
All right. Good luck today. We'll see you at 2:15.
Thank you. See you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Judge, I have one.
Did you say that you only have one case, sir?
I have one. Christopher Shazani for Adam Fry.
Yes, 20 CT 2075. What are we doing for Mr. Fry, sir?
Yes, we're just respectfully requesting a continuance with a waiver of speedy at this time.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor,
Anybody else? Mr. Linares, yes?
yes, Your Honor. Good morning. I've got two cases, Your Honor. First case is Mario Pugwick.
Yes, 20 CT 603.
That's correct, Your Honor. This is a case where diversion's been offered. We're willing to accept the offer, except there's an issue regarding a $1,500 restitution payment that they're asking Mr. Pugwick to make. So I need to confer with the state attorney to find out exactly what that's for and why they're asking for that money. I have an idea, but I need to speak to Mr. Rabb about it. So we're asking for the April 21st date, Judge.
This case is over a year old. If I continue it to April 21st, it's going to be a final continuance.
That's fine, Judge.
You guys honestly should have figured out what that restitution is for by now within a year. I'm kind of surprised.
Well, Your Honor, we received documentation regarding that, the 1,500 in December.
Okay.
That's when I received the information from the state in December. It's not, I think there was another attorney involved. It's not Mr. Rabb. It was another prosecutor involved, but that's when we received that information, Judge, in December.
Mr. Rabb, what's the state's position on this one?
Your Honor, I have no objection to a final continuance, and hopefully this resolves the diversion.
April 21st, final continuance.
Thank
All right, Mr. Linares, you also have Oriel Garcia Toledo, 20 CT 1645. What are we doing for this gentleman?
Your Honor, this matter is an incident that occurred in September, so it's not that old. I provided Mr. Rabb some information that's hopefully helpful in his determining how we're going to proceed on the case. I believe Mr. Rabb has received it. We haven't had a chance to confer about it, though, so we're asking for the April 21st date.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, April 21st at 9. Thank you, Mr. Linares.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You too. Anybody else over Zoom that has one or two cases?
Angelique Augustin with the Jovia Cava Law Firm on behalf of Harold Weeks.
Yes, Mr. Weeks. What are we going to do for Mr. Weeks? And for the record, he's case number 19 MM 1583. This case is definitely one that needs to be having some movement.
Your Honor, we're asking for the April pretrial conference as a last continuance, if possible, or 2-cycle continuance for trial.
No, it's 548 days old. This case is being set for trial. It's too old.
Okay.
Unless there's a really good reason for it, I just can't continue this one. We're having cases now that are starting to go in the second year, and I don't mean to be harsh about it, but this the ones that are like 600 days old, they just have to move. I can't move them to April unless we got a witness problem, we got something going on, that discovery issues. Give me something other than we just need to continue it.
Your Honor, I need to file a pretrial motion that I haven't filed yet in this particular case.
Well, you better get it filed soon, because this case is getting set for trial. We're setting it February the 19th at 9 a.m. for status, and I'm going to put it on my March the 2nd trial docket, and that motion needs to be filed really quick, and I'm going to hear it on an expedited basis in order to get this case to trial. So I will let
yes, Your Honor,
know that this needs to have priority. As far as a motion, I don't understand why the motion hasn't been filed in 548 days, but get it filed and we'll go from there. All right.
Yes, Your Honor. The trial docket on March 2nd, what time would that be?
The trials will start at 9 a.m. on March the 2nd. February the 19th, I expect to slot these cases for trial, the ones that are actually going to go.
Yes.
Give them, dates.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. All right. Anybody else ever Zoom that has one or two cases?
Morning, Your Honor. I have one case.
Mr. Dunford. All right. Let's get you taken care of real quick. And who are you here for? I don't see you on my docket. Are you here for
John Johnson? I'm probably under Maury, the law firm of Scott Maury. John Johnson's my client. 20 CT 2241.
20 CT 2241. Yes.
That's correct, Judge. And we did file a plea in absentia in this case. I didn't know if we want to address it now or at the end of the docket.
I can either do it at the end of the docket this morning, or I could move it to 2:15. I've still got a hefty docket in front of me.
I'm happy to sit around this morning and wait on Zoom if that's okay with you, Judge.
That's fine with me. Just wait a little bit. I'll take care of everybody else. And I've got an in-person plea this morning, and then I'll take your case, sir.
I'll keep listening in. Thanks, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Casasso, it looks like you only have 2. You ready? All right, let's start with Mr. Fowkes, David Fowkes, 20 CT 109. What are we doing for Mr. Fowkes?
Judge, I respectfully ask for one last continuance. I had some plea negotiations early with the police. She refused to talk to me now, so I need to get them.
Okay. Mr. Casassa's having a problem here this morning. I guess one state attorney's already shut him down. Mr. Rabb, I'm assuming that you're willing to still speak with this gentleman about his case. I'm hoping.
I'm always happy to speak with Mr. Casassa, Your Honor. Just based on the age of the case, if Mr. Casassa had a reason for the continuance, I was having a bit of trouble hearing him.
He said, why are you asking for a continuance? Because his case is old.
Because I want to talk to her.
Well, you could talk to him about it between now and February the 19th, and then we could set you for trial. Sounds like it might be resolved, and I'm fine with resolving cases on that February the 19th date if we have cases that are going to plea. But the older ones, I'd like to try to push them along gently. So what's up for Mr. Fowkes for February the 19th at 9 a.m.? Trial week, February the 23rd at 9 a.m. It sounds to me like you guys are going to resolve this, so that would be awesome. Yes, 20 CT 2262. What are we doing for Ms. Haas?
Judge, I just recently had my computer guy come over. I was having trouble opening the state attorneys when they email discovery and videos. They email numerous things that I don't need. So I finally figured out how to do that. I need to watch the video with Ms. Haas on her investigation.
Any objection, Mr. Redd?
Your Honor, apologies. I am having trouble hearing Mr. Casassa, but I have no objection to continuance.
April the 21st at 9 a.m. Thank you, Mr. Casassa. Mr. Lucarelli, what do you have this morning? Yeah, I think one of your cases was one of the really old ones, and it is. It's David Wade, 19 MM 1285. What are we going to do for Mr. Wade? Yes. Do you, would you like it set the first week or the second week? And let me ask that Mr. Rabb too. Are there any issues with this case as far as witness availability, the first or second trial week?
No, Your Honor, we can take it either. The state would probably request the first week just to try and even the docket right now.
Okay. So we're going to set Mr. Wade for February the 19th at 9 a.m. for status, and it'll go February 23rd, that trial week, 9 a.m. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rabb and Mr. Lucarelli. All right, you've got also Hannah Petto, 19 CT 2770. What are we doing, Ms. Petto? All right, let's set her also on February the 19th at 9 a.m. with the trial week of February the 23rd at 9 a.m. And then you also have Dylan Wright, 20 CT 1341. Okay.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, you were moving a little faster than me. As it relates to Ms. Petto, we do have conflicts for both weeks, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Apologies.
All right, well then let's put this with the difficulty you're having, Mr. Lucarelli, with getting in touch with her, maybe setting it for that April 21st at 9 a.m. date would be beneficial to both of you, and it'll be a final continuance because the case is old. Yeah, we're going to take it off the trial and move it to a pretrial. Yes. And I do still have a bunch of people that I need to address before I can do a plea. If you want to wait, Mr. Lucarelli, I'll do it this morning. I just need to get through the rest of the docket. But we still have to go through the whole, I still would have to go through it on the record and everything. Do you want to wait or do you want? Okay, all right. So we're going to recall Mr. Wright. Let me just make a note on that. And you're not a plea, Mr. Baker?
No, sir. No, ma'am.
I was going to say, do I still look like a sir? I've been trying. I'm just messing with you. I'm just teasing you.
Morella at 2:15 today is a plea in
the
hearing room. Morella.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing a plea this morning. I got. Oh, so I'm so sorry. Okay, so you have.
Mr. Arnold here. I just met there and proceed with version of defense. This will just be a trial, or if the state decides to no cost later, I don't know.
Robert Arnold, 20 M1259. Mr. Baker's in the courtroom, Mr. Rabin says he's ready for trial unless you want to drop the charges.
Your Honor, can we actually recall this case? Unfortunately, I am conflicted from this case.
Okay, we need to recall.
I will need to grab one of the other assistant state attorneys.
That's fine. The only thing I asked the state, I didn't see any evidence of 911 calls. I asked them if there were, they would need to.
Okay, well, we're going to need to bring in another state attorney over Zoom to address that case. So we'll recall it. Do you want to just do that at the end of the docket, Mr. Rabb?
Whatever works for the court and for counsel. I'm not sure what his schedule looks like.
All right. Well, we're getting there. So I think, we did continue Ms. Armpriest's case, I thought, to tomorrow. Luis San Juan Garcia, 20 1850. Still showing
we did as well, Your Honor.
but I thought we moved it.
Yes, Your Honor, that's my understanding as well.
Are you showing it, Sherelle? San Juan Garcia, 20 1850. It's showing up on Smart Bench. But I thought we had continued it yesterday. You don't have it? Okay, so it already went away. 20 1850. Okay, so we can move that to tomorrow morning. Yeah, it's a PD case. Okay. All right. Now, let's see. Anybody over Zoom for Mr. Barry? Mr. Levy?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor.
All right. We've got Frederick Johnson, 20 CT 713.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sorry. Yeah, we're ready for trial on that case.
All right. Mr. Reb?
State's ready, Your Honor.
First or second week?
No preference, Your Honor.
Any preference?
How about the second week?
All right. February the 19th at 9 a.m. And it'll go the trial week beginning March 2nd, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Judge,
and
next.
then Richard Graves, 20 1146.
Yes, Your Honor. We've worked out a resolution in this case. Mr. Graves is going to need to complete a little community service prior to entering the plea. I was going to ask for 6 weeks. It seems like Your Honor doesn't have a plea date in March. If it's
I will. I just don't have it yet.
Sure. If it's acceptable, what we could do is put it on the next pretrial conference and set it from there, if that's right. But we do have a negotiated resolution in this case.
April 21st at 9, and then just get a hold of Jen and we'll find another plea date. All right. And then Ronald Newton, 20 CT 2514.
Judge, this is his first time up. Mr. Rabb has conveyed an offer. We've received discovery. We just request a continuance with a waiver to try to work it out. I think he's been offered a version. I expect he'll accept it.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, I do have one last case. Ernesto Carlos Valdez.
Valdez. Oh, why am I not seeing it? Hold on. There it is. Ernesto Valdez, there he is. 20 CT 1296. What are we doing for Mr. Valdez?
Judge, just requesting one final continuance with a waiver. I want to speak with Mr. Robb. He's conveyed an offer. I just want to go over some of the terms with him, and I think we can set it for a plea at the next court date.
All right, April 21st at 9.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I didn't ask you if you had an objection, Mr. Robb. I'm sorry. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor. Thank you.
April 21st at 9.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you. All right, and Ms. Upson, it looks like you only have one case, 20 259. It's Gladys Yos Domingo.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. That case is set for trial. Scheduling wise, I'm number 4 in Judge Foster's trial list for the week of 22nd.
Okay.
So obviously, if mine goes, I wouldn't be able to do both, but we can set it for then potentially, or for the March 2nd, Judge. I just have a conflict at 9 o'clock, but I could be available at 9:30.
Okay. Well, the week of the 2nd is just simply to determine, which cases are going to go. So it may not actually go on the 2nd. It could go any day that week.
Okay, that would be my preference then, to put it on that week then.
And my trials the week of February 22nd are only going to go in the event that Judge Foster's cases don't go, because.
Oh, okay. Well, that could work out as well then.
But I'm slotting them because it seems like the other judges that have had their jury trial weeks come about haven't done any jury trials, which is surprising to me. So I'm scheduling them, even though I know that it's possible that Judge Foster may have one or two go and mine may not.
Okay.
But it's also possible that they could all settle, and if they do, I've been telling everybody, be ready, right? So let's set it for February the 19th at 9 a.m. Trial week will be March 2nd, right? You didn't want the February 22nd date, or you did?
I'm sorry. When are we setting the first court date?
Well, the first court date would be February the 19th, and that's just status. But I'm going to either schedule it for the week of the February the 23rd or the week of March the 2nd.
Okay.
So you prefer the second week, is that right? Or would you prefer it the first week, even though you're still on Judge Foster's time?
I prefer the second week.
March 2nd. All right, sounds good. And I was wrong. You have one other, no, De La Rosa is the second one. This one we just said is Gladys Yost Domingo with a Y. Okay. And she's 20 259. All right, and then the other one that Ms. Upson has is Norberto De La Rosa, 20 CT 2312.
Judge, he just resolved his felony case. I anticipate being able to resolve this fairly quickly. If we can set this for a plea date, Mr. De La Rosa is in custody.
You could set it any day this week on 24s. I'm doing 24s this week.
Okay, I'll take care of that then, Judge.
Yeah, just get a hold of Jen. I'm going to just tentatively put this on the April 21st pretrial at 9 a.m. But set it up with me this week. I'll set it on a 2:15 if it's, especially if it's going to get him out of jail.
Thank you, Judge. I'm also covering for Mr. Miller.
Okay. Let me just find his cases. And he has Charles Humphreys, 19 CT 2475.
And he would like to set that for trial, and he indicates he would be okay with a continuance as well.
And we unfortunately have multiple officers who are unavailable for both weeks, Your Honor.
He must have anticipated that because he gave me the
Final continuance, April 21st, 9 a.m. All right, Corey Taylor, 20 CT 1614.
And he is requesting a continuance with a waiver on that case.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Upson.
Bye-bye.
Okay, anybody else over Zoom that just has a few cases? Mr. Moffitt?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have one case, James McClay.
20 CT 1218, and this is McClay with an M. And so what are we doing for Mr. McClay?
Judge, requesting a continuance with the waiver unless the state has an announcement to make.
We do not. No objection to a continuance either.
April 21st at 9 a.m. Thank you, Mr. Moffitt.
Thank you, Judge.
Maybe next time they'll have an announcement to make. I don't know. It's always possible, right, Mr. Rabb?
Yeah, and we may, Your Honor. I'm reviewing some of the notes right now. It's possible. I just need to touch base with Mr. Moffitt.
All right. Mr. Nunez, you ready? I thought I saw Mr. Nunez on there. Jose Nunez.
Good morning, Judge. Good
go.
morning, Judge. Your Honor, I'm having a problem with my camera, but I am here for the record. Nunez.
I don't have to see you, particularly if you're sitting on the beach right now.
I wish there were a judge.
Perez, Mr. Perez, Jensen Perez, 20 1688. What are we doing for Mr. Perez?
Yes, Your Honor. That is a diversion case, Judge. Everything has been paid and mailed to the defendant. My understanding is it's been returned to my office. I just haven't received it yet. But we do have all the paperwork signed up. The fees have been paid. And if we could just roll it one more time, I imagine it'll be off your docket by the time I get my mail.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st, 9 a.m. And then we have Esteban Rua, 20 CT 2480.
Yep, Your Honor, I believe that's the first time up. I'm going to ask for a continuance with a waiver, and I just have to review discovery with my client and get a plea offer from the state.
No objection, Your Honor. No, ma'am, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
You too, thank you. Mr. McGann, I see you. What do you have, sir?
Good morning, Honor. I have 3 cases. The first one is last name is Czarniak, Czarniak.
Yes, that is case number 20 CT 2244. What are we doing for Mr. Czarniak?
This is his first time up. We'd asked for 1 continuance with the waiver in order to resolve the case on the April court date.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9. All right, who else do you have, Mr. McGann?
The last name is Gutierrez Borges. It's one of the older cases from 2020.
Gutierrez Borges, 20 CT 6.
He is interested in resolving the case. I heard you earlier saying that the March court date was kind of busy, or you don't have a March one, but you're going to have one. So we would ask to put it for April 21st to move it up to March.
Okay, April 21st at 9, and then just get a hold of Jen and we'll come up with another plea date. I'll have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Pretty quickly today. All right.
And the last case is Santa Maria Contreras.
Santa Maria. There we are. Juan Santa Maria Contreras, 20 CT 1652.
And that's the same request, the April court date with anticipation of moving it up to March.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9, and again, just get a hold of Jen. We'll get her in for a plea.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that everybody you have?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Gorman, you're up.
Hello, Judge. We've got a number of cases. You want me to just call the docket?
Well, let's start with Marco Castro, 19M1796. That one's fourth down on the list of really old cases.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Rabb and I actually spoke with that again yesterday. We've had numerous discussions on it. The agreement we reached, subject to Your Honor's approval, is to set it for one more pretrial or status date. Either it's going to be a resolution or it'll be a trial after that. But I know that was our discussions. He's made an alternative offer, and we had some back and forth on it. So I don't ultimately know if it's going to be a resolution or not, Judge. I believe it will, but that would be our request at this time.
Mr. Rabb, what are your thoughts on this? This one's extremely
Your
old.
Honor, it is an old case. As Mr. Gorman stated, we have been in constant communication regarding this. There's a victim involved also, which is why it probably hasn't resolved quicker, and our need to contact victims as it relates to plea offers. So that is part of the delay.
Do you want to set it on the April 19th date or April 21st date for another pretrial? It'd be a final continuance, or does it make more sense to set it for February 19th status and slot it for trial, which might actually increase?
At this point, Your Honor, I agree with Mr. Gorman. I think that it's leaning more towards resolution. If we can put it on the April date for now, and hopefully come to a resolution before that.
April 21st at 9, final continuance.
Thank you, Judge.
Right. Thank you. Was there any others on there? The next one. The next on the list appears to be Beatrix Luce.
Yes, Judge. That was, if you recall, that's the case. She's got a leaving the scene with death in Lee County. She just reached a resolution on that matter. So she hopefully will be in a position to either come down here and resolve this. We may have to do a transport order, or I'm hopeful that once I provide Mr. Rabb the judgment sentence, which shows she's going to be going to state prison for a significant period of time, that may just resolve it. This is a relatively minor second-degree misdemeanor that I don't know if it's worth the resources to bring her down to resolve it. But if you want to set it for that plea date, Judge, or that trial status date, either we'll have her here or the case will come off the docket.
All right.
State has no objection based on the circumstances, Your Honor.
It's not a trial, Judge.
Let's set this for February the 19th at 9 a.m. Trial date of February the 23rd. Yeah, this in light of what the representations are from Mr. Gorman, the court does also believe that this is one that should resolve in some way, shape, or form without expending significant resources on it in light of the fact that she's going to be in prison. But I'll let you make that judgment call, Mr. Rabb. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sounds good. And those are the ones that I'm showing that were super old. So, Mr. Gorman, feel free to call.
Yeah, Judge. Well, we got a number of other ones. Next, we have Daniel Dow. This is 20 CT 217.
2147. Yes. What are we doing?
Judge, we've got a plea of absentia executed. I don't know if you want to do that today or do it on the plea docket that you've got coming up. Whatever your preference is. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
If I do it today, it has to be at the end of the docket this morning, or I could put it at 2:15 this afternoon.
Judge, That's fine. I can hang around. We can do it at the end of the docket, Judge.
Okay. All right, so take Mr. Dow at the end of this docket. And, all right, who's next?
Next, Judge, we have Dakota Sexton. This is
20 CT 2381.
That's correct, Judge. We're asking you to continue the next pretrial conference with the waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Next, Judge, we have Nicholas Popolek. That is 20 MM 2030. That's going to be a diversion resolution. We were hopeful that we'd get the updated terms from Mr. Cruz, but we've been having some delay with our dealings with him. So it's going to be coming off the docket is the bottom line, Judge. We're asking you to continue the next pretrial conference with the waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Next, Judge, we have Kaylee O'Connor, 20 MM 443. Judge, this is an older case. We would like to resolve it. She's in Canada and has had some difficulties. If we can set it for one final status date, it'll either be a trial or and she's gonna have to figure out how to get back in the country, or we'll have a resolution. So that would be our request.
Mr. Rabb, any objection? I do know that travel from Canada right now is difficult.
Yes, Your Honor. In light of that, the state has no objection to a final continuance.
April 21st, final continuance, unless of course, and it's impossible for her to get here. Sometimes we don't have control over that right now.
Yeah, Judge.
So just keep us posted, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Next, Judge, we have Colin Tran, 20 CT 1747. We're asking to continue the next pretrial conference of the waiver. We still have some negotiation to do with the state. It's a newer case.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Next, Judge, we have Thomas Mangan, 20 MM 1858. We'd like to set that for a status date, but I know we don't have that date yet, Judge. It's not going to be a trial. Are you handling statuses on the that first trial cycle date, or is that getting too packed now?
I'm setting stuff on that 19th, but I'll do pleas once we, get everybody that's going to go to trial, set up those trial weeks. I'd be more than happy at the end of that docket to do pleas. I've only set a few, I think, for that morning, but
okay, Judge.
There might be a few more when they know they're going to have a trial the following week.
Judge, why don't we do that? Why don't we put it there? If Mr. Rabb understands it's not going to be a trial, but we're going to try and resolve it there on that date.
That's fine. February the 19th at 9.
19th. Next, Judge, we have Marcus Maureen. This is 19 CT 2667. We're ready for trial.
Mr. Rabb?
Your Honor, state's ready.
Set it the week of, it'll go February the 19th at 9. Which trial week do we want to put it on? The February the 23rd or the March the 2nd?
State prefers the 23rd, Your Honor.
All right, February 23rd, 9 a.m.
Next, Judge, we have Sheehan Forrest. This is
19 MM 2327.
Yes, Judge, ready for trial.
Mr. Rabb?
Yes, Your Honor, state is ready for trial.
February the 19th at 9 a.m. Any preference on which week we slot it in, 23rd or the 2nd?
Again, Your Honor, I think the state would ask for the 23rd just so we can try and balance these.
February 23rd at 9.
Next, Judge, we got Jesus Gabriel Lopez. We're asking to continue that to the next pretrial conference with the waiver. That is 20 CT 2260.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
And then last, Judge, I believe it is Connor Strachan. That is
21 MM 19.
That's correct, Judge. We're asking to continue the next pretrial conference with the waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thank you, Judge. We'll hang around and get that plea of censure entered at the end of your docket.
Sounds good. Mr. Mello, you only have a few cases, is that right? Anthony Mallow, you there? Nope. All right. Mr. Verderamo, you ready?
Good morning. Yes.
All right. We're ready.
All right. Alfredo Gomez,
19 CT 1544, ready for trial. Received an offer yesterday. I need to convey it to the client. May get it done. I'll let Mr. Rob know, but I think we should set it for trial.
And state is ready, Your Honor. Based on the age, we'd request that it go on the first week.
February 19th at 9 for status, and then February 23rd for trial.
Next case is Jeffrey Hopkins, 19 CT 1731, ready for trial.
Mr. Rob?
State is ready as well. And again, Your Honor, based on state, we'd request, or based on age of the case, we'd request the first week.
All right, February 19th at 9 for status, February 23rd for trial.
Hugo Casero, 19 CT 2029, we're ready for trial.
Mr. Reb?
No objection, Your Honor. State's ready.
Same request, or are you wanting to move this to the second week?
Mr. Verderamo, do you have a preference?
Let's keep it on the first week and see where we go. I'm also set on Judge Foster's docket, so it's my understanding if I go on Foster, then there's not going to be enough jurors for that week.
Well, so I don't know if you were here when I was talking about the trial weeks. Judge Foster is primary for February 22nd, and I'm secondary, which means if Judge Foster's case is resolved and don't end up going to trial for one reason or the other, I'm up. And thus far, when we've had jury trial weeks, at least the most recent last few weeks, none of the cases have gone. So I told Judge Foster I was going to load up my backup week, which is February the 22nd, in case his cases, none of them go. So I think it makes sense that if we actually are able to do jury trials, that we have both judges ready to go. So that's, you know, Judge Foster's cases go with you, Mr. Veramo. I had other people who said they were also in Judge Foster's trial week. Then that would mean that my week of February 22nd will not happen.
Understood.
All right. Okay. So who do we have next?
Marshall Lane.
Last case is Hugo Casero, 19 CT 2029. That was another one we were setting for trial. I think
We set that for the 19th and the 23rd.
19th and the 23rd.
I'm going right down your list, Judge. I don't know if you have it in front of you.
Yeah, I got it in front of me. I'm good.
Okay. Marshall Lane, 20 CT 55.
Yes.
Mr. Lane's in custody up in Charlotte County.
Okay.
I'm going to have to do some type of order to get him down here. I don't know if it's realistic. I'll have him here by the 19th, but
I would not require him to be here on the 19th. He would be here on the day that his case is set for trial, because I think that would put a big burden on them to transport him for the 19th and then also transport him for a trial date. Maybe that's something, I don't know if they have the technology there for us to, you know, set him at some point to allow him to appear over, you know, a Zoom or, you know, telephone or something so that he could participate. But do we want to still try and set it on the 19th to see if we're going to actually set that case, you know, for trial?
You know what, I've already set 3 cases. There's a chance I'm going to go on one of those 3. So let's just move him to a pretrial. I'll talk to the state, see if we can resolve this thing. If I can shoot up to Lee County and get the paperwork signed, I can do it in absentia. So
perfect. All right. Any objection, Mr. Rab? We'll set it for April 21st at 9.
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
The next case is Noreen Price. I'm going to set that for the 19th. That's 19 CT 2991. I spoke to the state briefly yesterday about a resolution, so we might be in a resolution posture in this case too.
All right. Yes. So where do we want to put her then?
Let's put her on the 19th.
Posture, do we want to move her to my pre-trial date, and then you all can set this for a plea, because I don't have an open plea date in March yet.
Well, I haven't solidified the deal yet. I made a counteroffer yesterday to Mr. Rob, and he hasn't accepted. So
that's right, Your Honor. I think right now, Mr. Verderamo, are you requesting to put it on the 19th for potential trial and attempt to resolve?
Yes, that's fine.
All right, Noreen Price will go to February the 19th at 9 with the trial week of February the 23rd. All right.
Lazaro Camejo, 20 CT 124. This will be a plea in absentia. We've worked this case out.
Okay.
He's actually coming to my office Friday to sign the paperwork.
Let's set it on April the 21st, and then you can schedule the plea in absentia with Jen.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right.
Next one is Juan Sebastian. There's 2 on the docket, 20 CT 852. This is the senior. I'm going to request a pretrial.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Next case is Troy Mann.
All right, Mr. Mann. Yes, what are we going to do for Mr. Mann?
Man, we are,
20 CT 1186.
I'm ready on this case. However, I don't know if it's realistic we're gonna get to a trial. I mean, I'll defer to the state, so.
Your Honor, state's ready. I think what Mr. Bergeramo is alluding to is that if he potentially goes on the 3 cases that he's already announced on, whether this one would, I guess, realistically go. But state's ready. If we want to set it, Mr. Bergeramo and I can continue to discuss.
Okay. Let's set it, Mr. Mann, February the 19th at 9 a.m., trial week of February the 23rd. And folks, just so everybody knows, my plan, you know, and the reason why I prepared the spreadsheet is so that I knew which the case was the oldest, and I plan to try the oldest case first. If everybody's, you know, I've got 100 cases on a trial docket in 4 trial days, it's not realistic that 100 of them are going. So oldest first, priority obviously is people who have been in custody for a lengthy amount of time, but I think we'll all be able to figure that out as we see where everything's going to be, you know, fit over the next few weeks. So I'll put Mr. Mann on the 19th and the 20th.
Judge, I'm gonna ask to put this on the April 21st for a pretrial. I just realized he lives 5 hours away.
Okay.
And we can have him come in for a court date to where we don't get anything resolved. I think it'd make a little more sense if we put it on the 21st. From that point, we'll be able to set it for more a definitive date.
I'm not going to make him come in on the 19th, Mr. Bergeramo.
Okay, that's fine.
Trial date though, if he wants to have a trial, you know, I don't know how likely it is that his case would go. Are you saying that you think if we set it on the April 21st date that this may be a possible resolution?
Yes, let's put it on the April 21st date. I think it better served.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, April 21st, 9 a.m. All right, who's next?
Lost my order here. Jody Keene.
Yes.
April 21st with a waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
20 CT 1530, Keene, April 21st, 9 a.m.
Charles Peterson, 20 CT 1523, same request.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st.
Osmarvin Cervantes.
All right, Mr. Cervantes, 20 CT 1819.
We can set that for the 19th.
For trial, February 19th at 9?
Yes.
And also put that for the trial week of February the 23rd. All right, Mr. Bergeramo, who's next?
Juan Sebastian Mendez, 20 CT 1830, requesting the 4/21 date.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9. Okay, Sebastian, I just got out of it. The last name was Sebastian, right?
Yes, there's 2 of them. They're both been moved.
It was Juan Sebastian. Let me just find him. It's his last. This is Juan Sebastian Mendez, right? 20 CT 1830.
There's 2 of them, so it's Juan.
The first one that I thought we did earlier.
Mendez is the difference. Yes.
Sebastian, and now we have Juan Arnulto Sebastian Mendez.
Correct.
And Mr. Sebastian Mendez, we're putting on for the 19th, February 19th at 9, with a trial February 23rd.
No,
Right.
I'm confused.
Am I confused? Did I switch them?
Cervantes we put for the 19th.
Yes.
Sebastian Mendez, I'm asking for the April 21st for pretrial.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. So Mr. Sebastian Mendez, Juan Arnulfo, 20 CT 1830 is going to go to April 21st at 9. 20 CT 852 is the other Sebastian without the Mendez.
That's also on the 21st.
Put him on the 21st, Mr. Bergeramo?
Yes, they're both on the 21st.
They're both set for April 21st for the next pretrial. All right. It doesn't help that they both have the same name and they're both on the same docket. Luckily, they have different case numbers, and there's one difference. There's a Mendez on one of them.
Different offense dates too, so that helps.
What's that?
Different offense dates as well. So.
Oh God, thank God for that.
Yeah.
Different offenses, I hope?
Yes, they are. They're not co-defendants.
Good.
All right, Marcos, are we ready for the next case?
Yes, sir.
All right, Marcos Santiago, 20 CT 1853. We can set that for 219.
Okay, Mr. Santiago, February 19th at 9. Let's put him on the March 2nd trial date, just so you can have fun both weeks.
There we go. Great. Gary Broderick, 20 CT 2022. I'm requesting the 421
What
pretrial.
was the last name on that one? I'm sorry.
Gary Broderick, 20
Broderick. Okay, got it.
CT 2022.
20 CT 2022. Yes, what are we doing for Mr. Broderick?
April 21st with a waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rob?
No objection, Your Honor.
421 at 9. All right, who's next?
Gaston Valdez, 20 mm 1738, 421 with a waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rob?
No objection, Your Honor.
Gaston Valdez with a V. And they're asking to continue it to 421 at 9, and that's going to be granted. You don't have him? Gaston Guillermo Valdez with a V. V as in Victor. V. I know, it probably sounds like B with the mask, right? V as in Victor. 20 mm 1738. All right. That will go to 421 at 9. All right, who's next?
Peter Burkhart, 20 mm 1775, 421 with a waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rob?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Got 3 left. Christopher Riggio, 20 CT 2308, 421 with a waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rob?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, April 21st at 9 a.m. And then
Daniel Diaz, 20 CT 2508.
Daniel Diaz, yes, 20 CT 2508. What are we doing for him?
421 with a waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rob?
No objection, Your Honor.
421 at 9.
Last case is Anarelli Taladondo Ramirez, 421 with a waiver.
And that's 20 CT 2504, Toledano Ramirez. Any objection, Mr. Rob?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, April 21st at 9.
And I think I covered everything.
I think so too.
All right. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Mr. Mallow, you ready?
I am, and good morning, Your Honor. Thank you very much. I'm here on behalf of Nelson Cruz Campos, Anthony Mayo on his behalf.
Yes, 20 CT 2183. What are we doing for Mr. Cruz Campos?
I'd be asking if we can reset it for the 421 docket with a waiver.
Any objection, Mr. Rob?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9.
Thank
Is
you very
that your
much.
only case, sir?
Yes, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're getting there, folks. Did we take care of James Lennon? It says Mr. Pizzazz is on that. I didn't cross it off my docket, but we must have. We did? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. I have it continued to April.
Okay, good. So we don't have Mr. Chandler, and he's got the oldest case on my docket. I'm going to call him.
Your Honor, my notes regarding Mr. Chandler's case shows that it resolved yesterday, potentially in Veterans Court.
Really? I don't see that.
Possibly.
I don't see anything on the docket that's showing Veterans Court. Do you see anything?
Well, I'm just trying to put context clues together here, Your Honor. I have a few notes in here by various people, but I do have a note from my assistant that says defendant pled no contest at 2/8 hearing.
Okay. I don't see it. So why don't we do this? Why don't we set this on my April 21st pretrial conference in order to figure out whether this case actually was resolved in Veterans Court, and if not, if it's going to be made part of the Veterans Court plea, which probably would make sense to have everything together if he's going to participate in Veterans Court. It may be that this one just didn't, it got overlooked and it was just a mistake. Or the paperwork hasn't hit the file yet. I don't know. Either way, I don't see it. I don't see anything in my view, and neither does the clerk. So.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, so that one's gone. I'm showing also John. Oh no, we already took care of John Johnston. We're going to do a plea on him. Let's see. We took care of all of Mr. Verdo's cases. Is everything that we're showing that's left is pleas, or did I miss anybody this morning? You see anybody else that's left? Oh, we have to address your case, Mr. Baker, which would require, Mr. Rabb, that we have another state attorney. We want to do that?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. If you may give me just a couple minutes to go and pull someone.
Sure, that'll give me a chance to stand.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We're almost ready for you.
Okay.
I think we did. We did. I just don't remember what we did with Mr. Mendoza. You know what? When Mr. Rabb comes back, I'll ask. Because I don't know. I know we did. I just don't remember if we set him for trial or if we moved him. I tend to think that we moved him. You know what? Let me look. If he was a newer, I know that we moved his newer cases. So Mendoza. Oh, I don't remember. I do have it not marked off, so I know we did deal with it, but we'll figure it out when Mr. Rabb comes back. You know what? I'm just gonna do this. He did. He's done. Before the coup.
What's his name? Robert Arnold? I don't know if he was falling asleep after as well. Oh, okay.
It's worse if you start to fall asleep when you're up here. That's why I stand up with it. Just sitting all day, I was like, oh.
Judge, I just have a question. With your permission, I have a time served jail plea. There's going to be an interpreter. Is it okay if I go to the hearing room 3-4 at 2:15?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do it over Zoom too, but it might be easier just to.
That's okay. Yeah, we can do that. And the client's in jail?
The client's in jail. Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can do that.
And I've been in contact with Forte also.
Wait a minute.
Thank you.
We need a state attorney.
Judge, it's Ms. Karimi. I'm here.
Who's that?
Ms. Karimi.
Oh. Okay, I hear you, Ms. Karimi. Hold on a second.
I'm here for Robert Arnold, 20mm 1259.
Yep, we have him. Hold on. Let me just start my video again. Okay, it's not working. Why isn't it working? There we go. All right, and we've got Mr. Arnold present.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am. Robert Arnold, 20-001259.
Yes.
And then Prosecutor Lorena Latrino did tender an offer. Mr. Arnold does not want that offer. I did send 2 inquiries to the state. If there is any 911 calls, I would like to have an audio of them. I didn't see that in the discovery. And then supposedly—
Hold on, let me ask. Ms. Karimi, are there 911 calls that need to be provided to Mr. Baker on behalf of Mr. Arnold? You know?
I don't see any in our file, Judge, but that could just be because we didn't request them.
Okay.
Okay, and I have one second question.
Sure.
The prosecutor before stated that in the case, this was self-defended. I just wanted to find out what piece number that was in. They had some trouble talking to her because she's represented by an attorney.
Okay.
The victim meeting.
Ms. Karimi, do you know anything about that? About the victim in this case being a defendant and then having a defense attorney that has to coordinate with Mr. Baker? Sounds complicated.
Judge, I'm sorry. It's really, really difficult to hear Mr. Baker. Let me—
I know, that's why I'm restating whatever it is that he says.
Thank you. The victim, yes, it looks like she is a defendant, but you know, that happens often, and that's what needs to be done in order to coordinate anything, if there was a depot or anything like that.
Oh, no, ma'am. I was just wondering if Madam Prosecutor, if you could just email me the case number that the state is prosecuting her in, that's all.
Okay, it seems to be 20 CF 1220. And it's defense, and her attorney is Mark Youngblood.
Could you repeat that one more time to Her Honor, ma'am?
20 CF 1220. Got it.
And at this time, depending on what times are available and checking my calendar, I would just be requesting a trial where the state may very well, as a former prosecutor myself, end up low costing it. Thank you.
State ready for trial, Ms. Karimi?
Can you give me a date, Judge, so I can check my availability?
Yes, it would be the February 19th is the calendar call, And I'm scheduling trials the week of February the 23rd and March 2nd. February 23rd is my backup trial week to Judge Foster. March 2nd is my trial week.
Yes, Judge, we would be available either day or either time.
Let's set this for February 19th at 9 a.m., February 23rd trial week.
February 19th, 9 a.m. Will I be able to appear for Zoom for that one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I'll have to be in person with my client for the 23rd of February or the 2nd of.
Yes, or the 2nd of March. And those are trial weeks. So what I expect will happen is on the 19th, we'll figure out the cases that are likely going to go those trial weeks. And also I should have a pretty good idea by the 19th as to whether Judge Foster will be having a trial the week of February 23rd, in which case I will not be able to have a trial week because we're only still opening up jury trials, one judge per week.
Your Honor, I do have a plea on March 2nd, and this will be a plea in front of Judge Sweat at 1 p.m. It looks like in Lee County. Can I get another trial date?
That's why I'm setting you for the 23rd, the week of the 23rd. Yes, week of February 23rd it will be the week, okay?
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Judge, can I just confirm the calendar call is March 9th or February 19th, and then the trial week would be February 23rd?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you,
All
Judge.
right. Thank you. All right, thank you. I'll see you this afternoon. Sounds good. All right, thank you. Mr. Bergeramo, you're back.
I missed a case. I lied and said I didn't have anything else. I have one more. It's Martin Santiago Mendoza.
We were just talking about that case, and I said I didn't remember what happened with it. So give us a minute. We need to have Mr. Rab back. There he is. All right, thank you, guys. Mr. Rab, we missed one of Mr. Veramo's cases, and it was funny. Sherelle and I were just talking about it. We couldn't remember what happened to it, and that's because we never called it.
Yes.
Even though I have it marked off.
I did too, actually. Somehow I skipped over it.
Okay. So let me find him again.
Who are we discussing? Apologies.
It's Martin Mendoza, 20 CT 1414.
Yes, sir.
And there we go. Martin Mendoza, 20 CT 1414. What are we doing for Mr. Mendoza?
Requesting April 21st with a waiver, Judge.
Any objection, Mr. Rab?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 21st at 9, which is actually what I thought we had done with it, which we hadn't. All right, we're good. Thank you, Mr. Veramo.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. Mr. Gorman, you ready?
Yes, Judge. We've got Daniel Dow, 20 CT 2147.
All right, we're going to do a plea in absentia on that. What did I do with the paperwork you gave me? No, this is the paperwork for Mr. Lucarelli's case. Yes. Okay, we'll bring them in a minute. I'm just going to take the ones that are over Zoom and then we'll bring them back in. All right, Mr. Gorman, plea in absentia filed February the 4th, 2021. DUI first, a refusal, and then is the other one a traffic citation?
Yeah, Judge, there's two traffic citations. We'd ask to merge and dismiss upon the entry of the plea.
How fast was he going? Do you know on the speed?
Yeah, Judge, I'll tell you.
Oh, of course. Oh, I gotta see how fast he was going.
He was going.
I'm all right with the DL not carried, but I need to see how fast he was going.
He was going 26 miles over. 76 and a 50.
And
Judge, I can tell you it was not a busy stretch of roadway.
Right.
Reports don't show any other vehicles around, but
let me just take a
so it's not a mandatory appearance, but it is a.
Oh, that's a DL case. Darn it. Shoot. Yeah, just let me. I just want to look at his driving record real quick.
Sure.
Slow today. Which one was it? Was 20 TR 26392 or 391?
What'd you say, Judge? I'm sorry.
I'm trying to figure out whether it's 26391 or 26392. And it looks like it was I got it. driving record. He's got a clean driving record. So yes, I would be willing to merge and dismiss the 2 traffic citations. All right, let's take a look at the plea in absentia. And okay, got it. Looks like the fingerprints are there. All right, so the plea in absentia is to a DUI first offense and to a refusal. Mr. Gorman, you stipulate to a factual basis for the purpose of the plea in absentia and to venue on these?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so the court will make a finding that the plea in absentia is complete, that there is a factual basis and venue in Collier County. And on the DUI first offense, as outlined in the plea in absentia, it will be an adjudication of guilt, $500 fine plus the court costs and the cost of prosecution, 12 months of supervised probation, which will be mail-in, may terminate early upon the successful completion of all conditions and after serving 9 months of probation. Conditions of the probation will include DUI school appropriate phase, no possession or consumption of alcohol, no entering any bars, taverns, saloons, pubs, package stores, or places where alcohol is primarily served or sold, no alcohol in the residence, random testing upon request and at his own expense, substance abuse evaluation, follow all recommendations, must sign up within 30 days, victim impact panel, which may be completed online, 50 hours of community service, which may be bought out at a rate of $10 per hour, 9 months driver's license revocation, may obtain a work permit, 10-day vehicle impound. This will also be concurrent with count 2, merge and dismiss the DL not carried, and also merge and dismiss the unlawful speed. As to count 2, refusal to submit to testing, as outlined in the plea in absentia, adjudication of guilt, $150 fine plus court costs and the cost of prosecution, 12 months of supervised probation, which may be mail-in, may terminate early upon successful completion of all conditions and after serving 9 months. Conditions of probation will include no possession or consumption of alcohol, no entering any bars, pubs, lounges, taverns, package stores, or places where alcohol is primarily served or sold, no alcohol in his residence, and also concurrent with count 1. And that's it.
That's it, Judge.
Oh, okay, that's okay. That's all you have, right, Mr. Gorman?
Yes, Judge. Thank you. You have a good day.
You too, thank you.
Take care.
All right, Mr. Dundred, I'll take you next. I just have to approve this judgment. And then we have Mr. Lucarelli as well.
Thank you, Judge.
No, it's a lot of terms put in, isn't it? I didn't notice those fun earrings you're wearing too. They're so cute. Yeah, I like them. I don't even have any in today. I forgot. Like the only thing we're allowed to wear is jewelry because you can't embellish your robe. So I try to find fun earrings. Those are fun, aren't they, Joe?
Yeah.
Look good on you. Yeah, I've heard that. I've never actually seen it, but it's. I thought it was an urban legend, but maybe not. Yeah, I heard about you hockey boys. I'm gonna have to come out and watch you guys play sometime, especially if you guys are embellished or bedazzled. Yes. Oh, I wish I could. I have one of those virtual galas tomorrow night. I was signed up for it 2 years ago, so now they've decided to do it virtually, and I'm a guest. Well, I was on the board for this charity, and I just, unfortunately, I had to resign because I haven't been able to make any of the meetings because I've ended up, I actually think I'm busier during COVID than I was pre-COVID, which is really, well, because things take longer. Oh, that's kind of nice. Oh, yeah, that'll be nice. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work tomorrow, but yeah, we had all signed up for it 2 years ago. So I said, so are we going to wear ball gowns in our house? Is that what we're doing? Maybe. Why not? Oh, that's fun. But yeah, absolutely. I know you guys catered John McGowan's investiture. I was a little jealous. Yeah, you did. Absolutely. So when Judge Cohen has his investiture, I'm going to be like, you got to get in touch with Mr. Lucarelli and get that delicious, those meatballs. Yes. I don't know. I know. I think you had cannolis too. Oh boy, you guys are killing me. What day is it today, Joe? Is it National Cannoli Day? Yesterday was National Pizza Day. He told me that. And then he didn't bring any pizza into the office. We're still waiting for the judgment. We're almost there.
I'm still waiting for Joe to bring me pizza, Your Honor.
I know. But you guys didn't come back with any pizzas yesterday. You tell us all morning about National Pizza Day, and I go in the guest judges' chambers where you guys are, and there's no pizza in there. Next year, yeah, right?
He said he had to go back to Philly to get real good pizza, so maybe that's what the holdup is. But
I don't know. We had a mustard challenge yesterday, and the guys are still fighting over who has the best mustard, right? The things that we do in our spare time. Oh, now I lost you, Sharon. Oh, okay. You guys can have whatever food challenges that you want, as long as you bring enough for me. The clerks you guys used to have your bake-offs. I forgot about that.
They haven't had one in a while.
You haven't. The last one that they had was the apple pie bake-off. I remember that. Yeah.
We're ready for another one.
Yeah, we are. You guys can. You're free to just drop them off in chambers, and we'll judge them from the inside. Okay. Sure. Okay, we can scroll down. That looks good. And that looks good too. All right, we're good. All right, now I got to get out of this.
I'm sorry, I'm on.
All right, Mr. Dunford, you ready?
I'm ready, Judge.
Okay. And refresh me what your client's name was?
John Christopher Johnson. It's 20 CT 2241.
That's right. Okay. Let's take a look at Mr. Johnson. And the plea in absentia looks like it was signed. It looks like it was filed, I'm sorry, February the 8th. So let's take a look at this.
Signed by everyone but you, Judge.
And I don't always end up signing them. I don't think. I think I just accept them in open court and they don't end up getting signed. All right. So the plea in absentia is to the DUI. There was also an open container. Oh, okay. Was that just an infraction, or was
yes,
that?
That's correct.
Infraction, and you're asking, I'm assuming, to merge and dismiss the infraction.
I would appreciate that very much, Judge, if you would.
Yeah, let me just take a look at his record really quick. Is that my computer that's doing that, making that weird noise? Or is that you, Cheryl? Oh, weird. All right, it doesn't look like he has any criminal history that I can see, so I would be willing to dismiss the citation for open container. And then let's take a look at the plea. Yeah, it is my computer. Here. All right, and the plea is to a DUI. And sir, you stipulate to a factual basis and venue for the purpose of the plea?
So stipulated, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And the court has reviewed the plea in absentia, does find it to be in order. We'll find that there is a factual basis for the plea and that there is venue in Collier County. For the charge of driving under the influence, there will be an adjudication of guilt, $500 fine plus court costs, cost of prosecution, 12 months probation, which may terminate early upon the successful completion of all conditions and after 9 months, 10-day vehicle impound, attending complete substance abuse evaluation, follow all recommendations, DUI school appropriate phase, follow all recommendations, victim impact panel may be completed online, no possession of any drugs or alcohol during the term of probation, no alcohol in his residence, no going to any pubs, lounges, package stores, saloons, bars, places where alcohol is primarily served or sold. The special exception would be to serve alcohol if it's required for work. Random urinalysis or breathalyzer upon request and at his own expense. 50 hours of community service, which may be bought out at the rate of $10 per hour. 9 months driver's license revocation, may obtain a work permit, and court will dismiss the citation 20 TR 2782 for open container. All right, just need to approve the judgment. We're good to go.
Thank you, Judge. How long does he have to check into probation?
They usually have to check in today, but I could give him 24 hours. You want to have him, as long as he checks in by the close of business tomorrow? That work?
That would be great, Judge, if you give him 24 hours.
Okay, yeah, by the end of the day tomorrow.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
So all the cases that we currently have set for the week of the 22nd,
Yes.
in the event that we are unable to go because Judge Foster takes that week, will you be moving any of those cases to the next week? Or
Let me approve this judgment really quick. Okay. Looks good. Thank you, Cheryl. So here's my thought. I've got today and I've got tomorrow to schedule these jury trials, which I expect we'll probably be loading some up tomorrow too from the PD pro se. So then what I'll probably do is what I did in preparation for these pre-trials is I'll start spreadsheeting what I've got the first week and what I've got set the second week, and do them just like I did for today by age, so we can figure out kind of where they are. If it looks like Judge Foster's cases are going to go the week of February the 22nd, and that ends up having some of the oldest cases on it, I may bump some of those to the following week.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I also may end up continuing some of those to my April pretrial, because obviously, you know, we're going to have 4 days of jury trials, March the 2nd that week, and we can't try 100 cases. I wish we could. So I think, you know, I'm just going to have to figure that out, take a look at it, and you know, obviously your input and the input from the attorneys will be really helpful to try and figure out if people really do want to move to the second week and get their cases heard then, and that will bump, you know, other people. I was actually surprised that, you know, with the trial weeks that we've had available, that we haven't had jury trials that have actually been going. So, but I feel like we've got so many of them on my docket that we're going to have some that are going to go. Couple. All the other judges are telling me that the cases have been taking more than a day because of COVID restrictions and everything, but I'm still hopeful that we can try a case a day. That's kind of how but I might be wrong. I haven't tried one yet. So maybe I'm being idealistic in my view of trying to get 4 done in a week.
We're game, Your Honor.
If we can, that would be really awesome. But I mean, I just still in my brain can't understand why if we only have a few witnesses that we wouldn't be able to complete a jury trial in a day, COVID restrictions and all, unless the difficulty is going to be with picking a jury. Because if we have difficulty with people who are coming in and they don't want to be here, and we've got a small jury pool, so I'm trying to work it all out, you know, in my brain how this is all going to work. But we're just going to try and do the best we can, right? That's all we can do.
It is possible, Judge. I was one of the guinea pigs in Lee County trying one of the first cases, and we got it done in a day. So it can be done. But you're right. Jury selection is the hardest part.
Okay, that's what I thought. I mean, I almost hope that the people that really truly don't want to be here because they're worried about COVID will get a hold of the jury clerk and say, I'm too scared to come to the courthouse. And that just eliminates them from the jury pool. And we can have people who truly will be okay with the restrictions in place. Because I mean, we're putting them in we're putting the 6, maybe 7 people in a humongous courtroom for the purpose of jury deliberations and breaks and stuff. So they could, I mean, right now we're in a smaller courtroom, but you know, that's the courtroom where I did my investiture and it was huge. Yeah. I mean, it holds like 100 and some people. So then we're setting it up for 6. So we'll see, but they could be, but they're not doing that. They're just doing it differently. But all right, Mr. Dunford, I've approved your judgment. You're good.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it. May I be excused?
You may be. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
With your case, Mr. Lucarelli, Mr. Dylan Patrick White, 20 CT 1341, driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked. I do, and it appears to be in order. Let me just make sure I don't have fingerprints on this plea, but I'm assuming that they've been filed. Excuse me. Okay.
And I have reviewed the plea in absentia, Your Honor. I have approved it.
Okay, good.
And I have fingerprints on my copy.
Yep, I see the fingerprints. And Mr. Lucarelli, in this case, do you stipulate to a factual basis and venue for the purpose of the plea? And this is 20 CT 1341 if I did not announce that on the record. And so the court will find that there is a factual basis for the plea and that venue is in Collier County to the charge of driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked. In accordance with the plea in absentia, the court will withhold adjudication of guilt, impose a $150 fine, plus the court costs and the cost of prosecution. That'll do it. Thanks for waiting patiently. We managed to get it done. I know, right? Joe? Yeah, and the cannolis and the meatballs. Oh, how much time does he need to pay, Mr. Lucarelli? Because he doesn't have any probation, so. Okay, perfect. 30 days to pay.
I can't eat pizza in front of the court.
We have a new bailiff? I haven't seen him.
Yeah, Steve Young is here. Steve Young, yeah, he's the assistant.
All good. We're good. All right, Mr. Rabb, if you, and by the way, I'm open to suggestions with these jury trial weeks. I just, you know, I'm trying to figure it out myself right now. I haven't had one in a year, so I'm hopeful that the first one will go okay. You know,
Actually, I originally thought, Your Honor, that you would have 2 status dates, one for the first week and one for the second week. And whatever didn't go on the first week, you'd continue to status for the second and we'd reorganize them then.
Well, you know what, I was thinking about that. I was thinking I've got my 19th date. And then maybe, you know, because I talked with Judge Adams yesterday, and what he's been doing is he's been doing another calendar call on the Mondays,
right?
Like the Monday the first week and the Monday the second week. So I may do that as well. Just kind of, I just want to kind of figure that out. I mean, I have no problem doing that. Maybe that's what we'll do is once we have everybody who's saying ready, then for that, you know, in the event that Judge Foster's week doesn't go the week of the 22nd. Then we'll set everyone for Monday morning and we'll figure that out. And if his case does go, then we'll have to figure out that, you know, what we're going to do with the first week at the calendar call. And then the second week, maybe we'll set that Monday to try and determine, you know, where they're going to go.
Yes,
Trying to figure out the best way to do all of it. And I'm not so sure there's a great way to do it, but we're going to figure it out.
And you're in a unique position as well, where you're the first judge, I believe, that has 2 weeks back to back. So.
Well, yeah, that might be true because everybody has a backup date, but they may not necessarily have the backup dates back to back. And to tell you the truth, I kind of like the idea that I have them back to back.
Right, I agree.
Better because if they're back to back, then you can take these 200 cases and slot them. And if Judge Foster's week doesn't go, then everybody's just lined right up for 2 weeks, which is usually how we do it when we don't have COVID. Is I have 2 weeks. So we'll see. Fingers crossed this is going to work.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I will see you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. See you tomorrow.
Maybe this afternoon.